Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Phixin the Phils. Last time we simmed into September and made some of our final September call-up roster adjustments. This time we're going to finish off this season and get into the off-season. I'll play a game, I'll skip around a bit, I'll try to cut it up a little more than usual so we can look at end-of-year awards, look at how our team did over the course of the season, get an eye on maybe retirements, maybe even do the draft in this episode so we can do a lot more off-season in the next one. That's the one I'm honestly most excited about. Let's just see. I did want to see before we started what our goals were at the beginning of the year and if we're going to accomplish any of them. So we knew the 3-year goals might be a stretch unless we really put together a good third year here. 1-year goals. So leading AAA in strikeouts, I highly doubt we got that one. We're definitely not having anyone with a 40-40. Our AA team's slugging incredibly well because we have a lot of players up there, or down there rather, that are future stars. So that's a good one. Hit 230 with the MLB team. Man, I don't think I would have even set out that pessimistic a goal if I were setting these myself. So I don't feel bad about that. Or I'm not surprised to see that, rather, that we will accomplish that one. And then most runs scored in the league, that was never going to happen, but we're actually going to do better with those goals than I would have expected. So let's see who's coming up, who we want to play our final game against. I think I'm going to get to right before the Mets series, do a home game against the Mets. Haven't seen them this year. Maybe we'll see if Syndergaard's in there. See if we can get one of his starts, because I know I won't be able to hit him, but it'll be fun to try. Cam Perkins on the DL for the 60-day maximum. He's still got 40 days left on there, so we'll throw him on the 60-day DL again. It doesn't hurt for him to go over. I'm pretty sure it resets at the beginning of the new season. So let's keep going to that Mets game. And yeah, I'm going to skip around in the game. I might skip through innings, only show you on when scoring plays happen or when something really worthwhile happens. That way we can have a lot of time to devote to the off-season parts of this game. So I never ever look at these emails, but I wanted to see if we can get probable starters. So they'll have Harvey. I wonder if I can look at their pitching rotation to see what order they're working with, because Harvey, if he's the top of the order, if he's the top of their rotation, I would really like to see Syndergaard. Let's see. I think I'll take a gamble and sim through this one to see if we can see our probable starters for the next couple. Okay, yeah, here we go. So it will be Syndergaard now. Let's see who we have on the hill to oppose him. Aaron Nola. What a great way to end the year. Nola against Syndergaard, a pitcher's battle. Yeah, Nola, a 3.4 ERA, not too bad. 141 strikeouts on the season. Pretty happy with his performance. We'll get into all that after this game. Don't want to focus on it too much because I'm going to really dive in to look at some of these once the season's ended. Yeah, so it looks like their secondary stuff's pretty equal, but Syndergaard has a 91 rated four-seamer because he throws right around 100 miles an hour. Nola, maybe a little underrated, even though his four-seamers not quite got the velocity that Syndergaard's does. He has incredible placement. I think probably in a roster update soon, not that I'll be installing it for this franchise, but I'd imagine Nola's ratings get a little bit of a bump because he's really shown control that no one could have predicted. Just for a little bit of extra flavor, I made it a day game, put on some alternate uniforms. Figure this is our last one of the first season. Let's have a little bit of fun.
There's a line drive. He's rounding third.
Odubel Herrera doesn't quite get the runner at the plate. Torrey Hunter drives one in there. Throw is in time, but a tremendous hook slide there. Scores the first run of the game in the first inning for the Mets.
Here's a strike. This batter's been known to go on streaks versus right-handed pitching. Hunter is running on the pitch.
Torrey Hunter just stole second on us as well. Man, he's really taking advantage of us all year. And a home run right after that. Nola having a rough start to the day. 3 runs in the first inning. I don't think I've ever started a game off so poorly. And this is with probably our best pitcher. Oh, that's a very Nola way to end the inning. The fastball high and in, painting the corner for the strikeout looking, but not before we gave up 3 runs. So, a question I had going into the season was, would there be 5 Phillies to hit 10 home runs? It looked like we had 4. I didn't see if anyone was at 9, but just really abysmal batting as we were predicting at the beginning of the year. I think the bullpen was better than we expected, though. The starters were a little worse than we were hoping, but probably right around expectations as well.
He checks his swing.
So Cesar Hernandez getting on with 4 straight balls from Syndergaard. Wonder if they were pitching around him to get to Franco. That seems like bad strategy. Oh man, a 96-mile-per-hour sinker. What do you even do about that? So a 1-2, not quite a 1-2-3 inning. We got the walk there, but the rest of the batters retired in order. Easy inning for Syndergaard, and the Phillies bats not able to answer after Nola gave up 3 in the first.
He catches the plate for a strike.
Another really rough spot for Nola. Now the bases are loaded, and Torrey Hunter's coming to the plate. He's basically been my nemesis this season. I think in the first game of the year we played against the Mets, and he probably hit a home run, scored another one. He scored a run and stole a base already today. Like I said, just my nemesis this year, and I'm really nervous with him on with the bases loaded and just 1 out. And a double play will put the inning away. No, Torrey Hunter legs it out. Crawford to Hernandez, and not in time over to Ryan Howard, so they'll score the run on the fielder's choice. Damn it, Torrey Hunter. You would never actually throw in that situation. 2 outs, runners on the corners. But I just hate Torrey Hunter, so I had to give it a chance. Alright, we got out of the inning, but yet another run came in, so now we're down 4-0, and Syndergaard is dealing today. Alfaro getting our first hit of the game. So we had pop-ups back-to-back from Crawford and Venable, so 2 straight outs, and then they will pitch around Altair to put 2 on with 2 outs for Aaron Nola. I can't say I like his chances to drive in the first run for the Phillies right now, but he's the best chance we have. That swing showing why I don't like his chances. I swung super early. The curveball caught me.
Just got a piece of that one.
Nola truly looking like a pitcher right now at the plate. Defensive swing, staying alive. And there it is. It looked like the third baseman was playing way back against Nola, which is kind of hilarious, but I guess if you know you can throw out the guy from anywhere, you play way back.
He sends this pitch towards second base.
Very interesting play by Cesar Hernandez there. Knocked it down with its glove and barehanded it over to first. So the third inning is our first clean inning, and now the top of our lineup is up. Odubel Herrera kills it to the outfield there. It's going to be a tight play at second. Cespedes has a hell of an arm, but it was a little bit off there. So Herrera, the liner all the way to the track. Cespedes basically had it on a bounce, but Herrera's got speed, so a lead-off double is a nice way to start the inning.
It's going to be going on anything hit on the ground to the right side. In that situation, the fielders need to get the sure out at first.
Cesar Hernandez very mysteriously getting pitched around yet again. I don't know if I'm just like imagining it and I'm getting lucky here, but why on earth are they trying to pitch around Hernandez to get to Franco? Yeah, 4 straight balls again to Hernandez. That's so weird. Maybe Franco's not as good against righties as I think he is, but I think he's just fine.
There's a line drive.
So Ryan Howard with the liner to the opposite field, definitely not the kind of thing you often see in him. Must have been way early on it, or way late I suppose. Barely gets down. The runners all advance, so the bases will remain loaded for Jorge Alfaro. He was the only player to get a hit in the first time through the lineup. Alfaro chasing the fastball up and away. It's now Venable with the bases loaded with 2 outs.
1-0 the count. It's a good hard sinker right there, trying to make a batter fish for one. Hit towards the shortstop.
Oh, it's going to be a tough one. The shortstop has to go into a roll there. So Venable gets one in with the grounder. First run on the board, and the bases remain loaded for J.P. Crawford. Oh, the sliding catch from, I believe, Torrey Hunter. Oh no, John Lagares there. I was going to say, if that's my nemesis yet again, I guess it was Hunter who bobbled one over in left field earlier, so got one over on him. Our first run on the board, but we leave the bases loaded. Now 4-1 as we head into the 4th. And a 1-2-3 inning for Nola. An easy one there as he faced the 8, 9, and 1 spots, but nonetheless, getting through another clean inning is trending in the right direction as Aaron Altair comes to the plate. He was walked last time to get to the pitcher's spot, Nola. Let's see if he gets walked again for the same reason. Oh, starting me off with a fastball down the middle. Wish I swung. A Nola ground out and a Herrera fly out, meaning a 1-2-3 inning against the 8, 9, 1 spots for the Mets as well. So the 4th inning, a mirror there as we move into the 5th. Back-to-back singles by Cespedes and Brandon Allen, but it will all matter not as David Wright grounds out to first to end the 5th inning for the Mets. So now in the bottom of the 5th, we have our 2, 3, 4 spots coming up. Cesar Hernandez seeing his first strike of the game. His 9th pitch, first strike. Pretty funny there.
And on 3 pitches, he's gone.
So Ryan Howard goes down swing after a Franco flyout. The Phillies go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th.
He's around first.
And a double there by Lagares to start things off. Leaving in Nola for the 6th. I'll probably have him pitch the 7th too if this isn't a disaster. No real reason to shut him down at this point. We're so late in the season. This might be his last start of the year. Can Herrera get the runner at the plate? Yes! A very favorable bounce off the mound there, and Alfaro just in the perfect spot. So Odubel Herrera guns down Jean Lagares at the plate, and now 1 out as Syndergaard comes up.
He tries the push bunt.
Couldn't wait for it to get foul. I probably could have gotten him there. Gambled a little, hoping it would roll foul, and it did not. You'll see that one in real life as well. Odubel Herrera with another play at the plate. This one not quite in time. Closer than I thought it would be. It was actually in time, but the slide just beat the tag there. Not an easy one for Herrera, and that's the Mets' 5th run of the day. So now my nemesis, Torrey Hunter, will basically determine if Nola will stay in to pitch the 7th, or if we'll probably have, like, I think it's Eichhoff now as our long man. And the nemesis gets a hit. There's going to be a play at the plate. Syndergaard, he thinks better of it and retreats to third. Now the base is loaded for Brandon Allen, who hit a home run in the 1st inning of the day. Looks like this might be it for Nola after all. All because of, you guessed it, Torrey freaking Hunter. So no more runs will score there. Brandon Allen popping out to Will Venable, but with the end of the lineup coming up, I think it's time. The long man's Mark Appel. We'll just have him pitch the rest of the day, I think. And Crawford grounds out to end the inning. I think I'll bring out Venable in a double switch, and we'll get Appel in. And gorgeous Peter Bourjos makes his return. He will play left field for the rest of the game. And he will bat in the number 9 slot, or as the Phillies call it, Peter Bourjos' spot. Oh, perfectly splits the outfielders there. Cespedes gives a really tough one for the Phillies and a stand-up triple. Mark Appel not starting his day out. So hot right there. It's going to be a play at the plate here. Cespedes running on Altair. Altair's got a strong arm, but it is deep enough, and he will score. So their 8th batter, Plawecki, grounds out to end the inning, but not before the 6th run for the Mets today scores. Altair gets one down. Unfortunately, it hits the short fence there. He might have had 3 elsewise, but still starting off with a double is a lot better than we've been doing for the most part today. Bourjos comes up with a man on and no outs. Torrey Hunter able to get under that one. A weak fly ball to left field, and Hernandez flies out for the 3rd out. Syndergaard actually batting in the top of the 8th. He's right around 80 pitches. I thought for sure they would bring him out, but I have to face him yet again. He's been a nightmare, not nearly as fun as it seemed on paper, I suppose. Bourjos, I don't even know what happened there. The run comes in. Our nemesis, Torrey Hunter, yet again hits one to the wall after Bourjos doesn't really even know what to do with it, doesn't turn around. Franco, not an easy one there, but he will get the out to put away the inning. So now we're down 7-1 in the bottom of the 8th. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning by Syndergaard. Gets his pitch count up to 88, though. Let's see if he'll go in the 9th. I'm just going to leave Mark Appel in. It's mop-up duty at this point. Base is loaded and 1 out for Appel now, getting into a bit of a jam. The pitcher spots up and they'll leave Syndergaard in. I cannot believe what they're doing in this game. And Syndergaard will drive in the run. A sacrifice fly from the pitcher. Hate to see that. It's just about how this game's been going, though. And a 3-run home run. right afterwards. Just a terrible day for the Phillies. Going to lose this one 11-1 as soon as we can get out of this inning. Might even be worse. I don't know what happened there. Crawford just watched it go by. At least Torrey Hunter can be our last out of the day if we get him here. The one saving grace in a terrible home game, our final played game of the first season in Phixin the Phils. Let's put Torrey Hunter away. Getting him to strike out would be such a relief here. Oh, Ryan Howard snags it out of the air, so that will do it for their bats. We'll let someone else hit for Appel. Yeah, Aaron Sibia, get in there.
The Phillies will send up a pinch hitter. Swinging stride to pitch coming up. That's a 3-pitch strike.
Another strikeout. Syndergaard just demolishing this lineup again and again. And Altair will be his last out as he grounds out to Brandon Allen. So the Mets absolutely torched us in this one.
The New York Mets win it by 10.
Yeah. So Aaron Nola suffers his 12th loss of the season. Syndergaard actually has a worse record even after the win there, but the Mets win 11-1. So let's sim the rest of the season and take care of some of the end of the year stuff here. So the regular season is over. Our goals, we slugged 390 with the Double-A team, no problem there. A lot of hitters in our minor leagues. We hit at least 230 with the major league team, as one would hope. We don't look like we're really on progress or on the right path for those 3-year goals. You'd probably want closer to 33, 35 road wins, but since we're expecting to be better later on, we'll be okay on the road game wins. Top 10 Cy Young, I have hopes for our young pitchers. 220 wins in the next 2 years. Now we'll need about 80 a season. I think that is actually pretty doable, so we're okay there. For our record, we finished 67-95, bottom of the NL East. Disappointing record, not a complete shocker though. Interestingly, everyone finished below 500 except for the Nationals, who finished 99-63. That might have been best in the National League. Very, very interesting there. We finished worse than the Braves by 4 games. That's really disappointing. So, season awards. The American League MVP is Mookie Betts, who only hit .288 with 17 home runs, but his 46 steals, I guess a .389 on base and .456 slugging are enough to give him the award. I imagine he also was a pretty good performer in the field. We can pretend that the voters decided that WAR actually matters, and his fielding, his base running, everything overcame maybe some pedestrian batting average and home run numbers because of those other great numbers, like his on-base percentage, a whole 100 points above his average, and slugging .456 despite 17 home runs. So great to see a young guy that maybe isn't a traditional power hitter winning the MVP. And in our league, in the National League, Jose Reyes. Wow, the comeback season for Reyes, hitting .290 with 23 home runs, 57 stolen bases, really incredible from him. Slugging .489, on base of .386, and he's always very good in the field. Really fun to see Jose Reyes with the comeback season winning the MVP award for the Rockies. The Cy Young in the American League is the new Red Sox, David Price. Very interesting. Through 210 innings, only 175 Ks and a 3.3 ERA. Not really the sort of stat line you'd expect from a Cy Young, but I guess the voters were impressed by the Red Sox being one of the most dominant teams in the league and him being the ace there. And 210 innings for a playoff team is nothing to sneeze at. In the National League, Ramirez, the closer from the Cubs, actually takes it home. 54 innings pitched, an ERA below 1, 42 saves, no losses, so he never blew a save, or at least never blew one that ended in a loss. 3 wins, 61 strikeouts in 54 innings, and only 13 walks in that frame. So tremendous numbers from a closer there. Can't argue too much with that one. But very interesting to see a closer winning the Cy Young Award. Rookie of the Year. I'm not too familiar with the American League rookies, to be honest. So Travis from Toronto wins it. 29 home runs, 10 steals. Pretty middling average, but very nice power numbers. Very nice on base for being someone who hits that many homers. And a great slugging percentage. So interesting to see there. And in the National League, Corey Seager, who we saw in the All-Star game, the Dodgers shortstop, does a little bit of everything. Looks like he did nothing too well, but a lot of things pretty well here. 262 average is really middling, but 14 homers, 31 stolen bases. On-base percentage, a good 80 points above his average, so he is getting on fairly frequently. Not a good slugging percentage at all, but still, I'd imagine he was also pretty good in the field. I think that's one of his strengths as a young shortstop. Relief Man of the Year in the American League. Wow, that one hurts the Phillies. Ken Giles picks it up. 51 saves through 50 innings. I don't really know how that math works out, but all right then. I guess he came in for a couple of one-out save jobs. 42 strikeouts, 21 walks. ERA of 2.7's not great for a closer, but you can't argue with 51 strikeouts and only 2 losses, so only 2 blown saves ending in the loss. And of course, Ramirez gets it in the National League. We went over his numbers already. The American League, our Silver Sluggers go to Adrian Beltre. Very nice to see him, even in his older age, 26 or I think 37 in human years. Hitting 288 with 20 home runs. Nice job by him. Wellington Castillo hitting over 300. Very good for a catcher. Alan Craig, who we saw in the All-Star game. 34 home runs. Very nice line all around there. Slugging 533. Really nice. Pedroia as well slugging over 500. Hitting 315 with 15 homers. Man, the American League was a powerhouse this year. It's all Blue Jays and Red Sox in these awards. The AL East, I should say, was a powerhouse. Josh Donaldson picking it up at third base. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. Mookie Betts in right field. Oh my God, Andy Dirks in left field. 24 homers, hitting over 300. And Mike Trout rounding things out. No surprise to see him there. His numbers down from what we would expect. Hitting just 280, 20 homers, 10 steals. Looks like some of his other numbers were still there. 167 hits, good slugging, good on base. And in the National League, Max Scherzer, I don't know even what to say about the National League silver slugging pitcher. He hit 250. Buster Posey, 16 homers and hitting 274. Also, numbers a little bit down, but Posey, one of the most reliable players in the game. Wilton Rosario, we saw him in the All-Star game, hitting over 300 with 37 home runs. Very, very impressive numbers by him. 567 slugging, too. Dear God. Daniel Murphy, pretty solid all-around numbers. Almost got 15-15. Not even there, though, and under 280. So NL second base isn't really a position of strength. Anthony Rendon, once again, not really a position of strength in the National League, it seems. Jose Reyes, we went over his numbers. Bryce Harper, hitting just 240 this year. Looks like he's striking out a lot, I would imagine. 23 homers, 19 steals, on base of just 320. So, a bit of a down year by Harper, just like Mike Trout in the American League. Andrew McCutchen, just 11 homers and 17 steals, but still hitting 298 and on base over 4. So, still a very solid player. And Chris Heisey, that is a shock. I don't think he's an MLB starter in this day and age, but he hit 288 with 24 homers. Really, his numbers are better than his outfield teammate Bryce Harper. That is a shock. And then Gold Gloves, we've got Gallardo, Kurt Suzuki, does he still play? I think they have two other catchers in Minnesota at this point because Joe Mauer doesn't really catch much anymore. Chris Walker, Dustin Pedroia, that's deserved. Josh Donaldson also picking up both awards. Andrelton Simmons definitely deserves that one. Ishikawa, Kurt Kiermaier, and Sam Fuld. Wow, Kiermaier and Fuld are very similar players. Two of those Rays random white guy outfielders. And then in the National League, John Lackey got Gold Glove. That is hilarious. If you've been watching baseball this year, I think a couple of times he's caught ground balls and been unable to remove the ball from his glove, so he just threw the whole glove over to first base. I think one time the first baseman Rizzo dropped the glove and everything, and the other time he caught it and it counted as an out. Very, very funny that he wins the Gold Glove. Yadier Molina, he should automatically get the Gold Glove at catcher. Rosales, Peraza, Ian Stewart. So the whole Nationals infield getting awards of some degree. It looks like he was a very good hitting third baseman. I think Rendon actually won. I don't know what they're doing in the infield over in Washington right now, but they have a lot of good infielders. Johnny Peralta getting a bit up there, but winning the shortstop Gold Glove. Jason Hayward, Jean Lagares, who we just saw, and Billy Hamilton, a favorite of mine, as you've heard, both when we played against the Reds and in the All-Star Game. And the All-Star Game MVP was one of my pitchers, Zach Greinke. I believe he went three straight innings where he retired the side. He might have just went two, but I think he went three and picked up the win for us in that one. So I think that does it for end-of-year awards. Let's advance to the playoffs. Looks like our only team in the playoffs is our AAA squad. So I'm actually going to cheese it up a little bit right here and send some guys down who might be able to help the squad there. Alright, so I sent Alfaro, Moncado, Alfaro, and Mark Appel down to AAA so they can compete a little bit here. Looks like the MLB team needs some more players, so we have a full 25. Let's call up some AA guys. Alright, let's just sim the AA playoffs, or the AAA playoffs. The Iron Pigs lost their first two, and they lost the third one. All that for nothing. Not too beat up about it. Let's see the Major League playoffs here. So the Nationals have defeated the Brewers, the Cubs have defeated the Dodgers, and the Blue Jays and Tigers are locked at 2, and the Astros and Red Sox are locked up at 2. Let's see how this goes. Oh, single A playoffs are happening as well down in Clearwater. I'm not concerned enough about that, so it's going to be either the Nationals or the Cubs, two perennial losers. Someone's finally going to buck the trend and make it to the World Series against the winner of the AL East, that powerhouse of a division that seemed to have swept the American League awards. Let's just keep simulating here. The best of 3 series in Clearwater is knotted at 1, so let's see if we can defeat the Blue Jays single A team. We have done it. Our single A team will go to the finals in the Florida State League against the Jupiter, I'm going to say Sharks? I don't know who they might be the single A affiliate for. So we've lost our first game. It's a best of 5 series. The Jupiter Hammerheads. And in the World Series, it is the Cubs and the Red Sox. Theo Epstein, John Lackey, going up against their old team, the Red Sox. Joe Madden gets to manage against the Sox, whom he managed against for quite a while. It'd be quite the story if the 2016 Cubs win the World Series in this simulation. Jupiter Hammerheads have the 2-0 lead in this 5-game series, so we are facing elimination. Zach Eflin has been on the disabled list for 60 days. We will welcome him back into the fold. He will be moved to the bench. He'll be moved to the Major League bench, I suppose. Oh, Clearwater won now that we're back at home, so staying alive for now. Clearwater wins again, so that series will go to its 5th game, and the Cubs have a 2-1 lead on the Red Sox. Clearwater loses in the final game of the Florida State League Championship, losing to the Jupiter Hammerheads, and the Cubs now have the 3-1 lead. We shall see. The Cubs have won the World Series. They've broken the curse. A 91-71 record. Not amazing, but they got it done in the playoffs. Who would have expected the Cubs to win the World Series in our first year here? 2005. Pretend that says 2016. World Champions of Baseball, the Chicago Cubs. In AAA, the Gwinnett Braves won the Governor's Cup, which is the International League. And in the Pacific Coast League, the El Paso Chihuahuas won. I don't know who they are associated with. It might be the Astros. In the Eastern League, the Fisher Cats won. Don't know who they're with. The Braves won in the Southern League as well. So the AAA and AA squads for the Braves both winning. The Texas League, the Naturals, don't know where they're from either. In Single A, as we saw, the Jupiter Hammerheads beat us. The Rancho Cucamonga Quakes won. I don't know who they're associated with, but I love that name. In the Carolina League, looks like Carolina Mudcats won. Very, very interesting. World Series MVP Ryan Domit hitting .309 and 6 home runs in the World Series. Holy crap. Ryan Domit, who would have thought? So yeah, the Cubs win the World Series. Let's start our off season. We'll just do retirements, which I think, we got a C+, better than I would have expected. Our budget has been decreased by $1.1 million, but we have plenty of budget to go around. We will get through the draft, and then we'll call it there, because contract signing, free agents, and spring training will take up quite a bit of time. That'll be its own episode in the next one. So first off, retirements. Kevin Correa has retired. I never used him at all. He was in our AAA squad. Don't mind seeing him go. See some of the other names, though. Tim Hudson, I think he's actually retired now. Jonathan Papelbon, who was relegated to AAA. Ethan Stewart, I don't know who that is. Hopefully he wasn't supposed to be anything for us, but he was in our single A system. It looked like he was actually halfway decent. No one else in our system or of any note retired, mainly due to the ages just being turned so far down. So the draft order, we will pick second. The Athletics actually had a worse year than us, so they'll pick ahead of us. So with the number 2 pick in the MLB draft, let's see who some of our options are. I would definitely want to go with someone who's a starter. I might take a second here to look through some guys. Alright, so we're going to pick this guy, Brian Asadoorian. He's a starting pitcher, a lefty, which we don't actually have many of in our whole organization. Already has 86 stamina, which is fantastic, one of the best in our organization already as well. A 5-pitch arsenal, which is really interesting. Don't see that very often, especially with young pitchers. Pretty decent curveball and changeup, and a very nice fastball there. He's not a huge guy, so I imagine he does a lot of mixing speeds, that sort of thing, rather than power pitching. But he's just the sort of pitcher I'd like to have on somewhere in our organization. So let's look around for our next pick. And let's go with another lefty here. This guy, a big guy, 6'5", 218. Throws an 80 overall fastball. Doesn't have the best stamina. He might be best suited for the bullpen in the long run. Looks like he'll basically be a 2-pitch guy with a great fastball and a decent curve. Maybe he'll develop that 2-seamer as well. But it really seems like he might be a closer in the long run. James Davey Atrekin. Kind of love the name, so I will pick him. And we will keep on going. And yet another lefty standing out to me. Another big guy, 6'3", Kevin Groom. 78 fastball is very good. A forkball and a changeup that are both good. Very interesting to me. I'll take him in the 3rd round. So the draft review, nothing to really do there. And contract signings. I'll sign our 3 rookies, and then we'll worry about our bigger names as we go forward. So I'd like to give them all 4-year offers here, just to make sure they're in the system for the duration of this series. Asadorian, he could start out in AAA, and he might even be on the Major League squad during this next season. He was one heck of a pickup here. We actually need to get rid of someone to have room for him. So don't mind if I do, to be honest. I'll let Chad Billingsley go, so we won't have to worry about him. He was definitely not coming back no matter what. So we will sign Asadorian, and he will start out in AAA, and that will do it for this episode. It doesn't look like I can actually save and leave from here, so we'll actually have to do contract signings as well. Will Venable, not interested. Mark Appel, yes, you are coming back. Major League spot starter. So we had to give him a decent amount of money for him to take a spot starter slot. Coy Hill, you are not coming back. Will Venable, 2 years at $2.8 million a year is just too rich for my blood. I can find an outfielder as good as you during free agency if I need. I can pick him up during free agency if I need. David Hernandez, an interesting case. What did he do last season? He threw 96 innings. That is a whole ton. Didn't do great in there either. 4.58 ERA. He's asking for over $1 million a year. So David Hernandez, goodbye. Edward Mujica, I believe he was in the minors the whole year, but he's asking for $2.3 million a year to be a AA reliever. Goodbye. Andrew Bailey had a really poor year trying to get things back together, but he had a 4.89 ERA. He was up and down between the majors and AAA. It was pretty much bad all around. He got the first crack at our closer role and was terrible in it. Let's see, Bugasevich. He's going to be really cheap. He actually hit pretty well. He wants to be AA every day. Fine, you're back. J.C. Gutierrez. Pretty cheap relief. A little above the minimum, but he's experienced. He threw an astronomical amount of innings last year and had a very good ERA doing it, so he is back. Lars Anderson, asking for the minimum. Hit well last year, relatively young. He is back. Alec Asher, he is one of our hopefuls for the future. Had an okay season. He wants a AA spot starter role. He'll probably have a better role than that in all likelihood. Ben Lively, another one of our hopefuls, but had a terrible year. Still, we want him back. Hinojosa was in the All-Star game. He was our closer this year. 36 saves, 33 strikeouts. I definitely want him back. We'll give him Major League relief. Actually, if he wants AA relief, we'll give him the offer because it keeps him cheaper. James Russell was not a complete disaster, unlike in real life, and he threw a ton of innings, was our one lefty in the bullpen. Let's see if we can give him 400K AAA. Yes, he will take it. Tony Kemp kind of got lost in the shuffle. We have a lot of good second base prospects now after I freaked out that we didn't have any. But he's asking for the absolute minimum, so we'll take him. Cerna, I don't know who this is. A backup shortstop. He actually hit okay, and he's young, so if he wants the minimum to come back, he can come back. Walter threw 100 innings in relief in the minors. He just wants a single-A contract for the minimum. He wasn't terrible. 93 Ks in 100 innings is pretty darn good. And he has one decent pitch, so he could actually be a closer eventually. Lino Martinez, he's really young. He threw next to nothing. Last season, just 43 innings in relief, a lefty specialist, did a good job. He is back. And Dylan Cozens, I can't say I know who this is. He was lost in the shuffle with a lot of outfielders. He's super, super young. Actually has kind of okay hitting stats, probably better than someone like Tyler Goodell, so he's back as well. So we'll have $25 million in the bank. We're all done with re-signing guys. I really hope we can back out at this point, and we don't have to do free agency before the next episode. No, we have to do it all, so I'll split this into 2 episodes. Yeah, I guess that does it for this episode. And in the next one, we will be doing free agency, and we will begin spring training with player development drills, and we'll look over how all of our players did last year to determine what our Major League squad is going to look like in year 2. So thanks for watching episode 7, and can't wait to talk to you in episode 8 as we start free agency number 1.